Hey guys, it's AJ. I'm just going to give a quick little addendum before the video starts. So, as you can see, this podcast was uploaded March 11, 2023. That is about 5 days after the Mr. Weenie Productions video about the situation came out. Now, whether the email was in regards to the video or something else, I'm not entirely sure. However, at this point, it would be useless to speculate because I don't know. I've been hearing rumors about the Bat into Sun thing for a while anyways, and so have the guys, so we're not really sure. However, I can definitely say that this podcast was recorded before we had knowledge of the Mr. Weenie Productions video and its follow-up. So whatever we say here, if it's outdated or untrue, just keep in mind we didn't know all of the facts. And depending on your level of skepticism, we still don't know all the facts because there are a few things in the Mr. Weenie production videos that personally I find a bit suspect, but that's neither here nor there, and that's for a completely different video once all of this clears up. So please do keep in mind we didn't know about either of these two videos. We don't know 100% the truth behind everything there. So if we get something wrong, we get something wrong. If we get something right, we get something right. And if something comes out that's somewhere in the middle, well, we'll go with that too. So addendum over. Enjoy the video. What are your thoughts on some of the crew from Bat in the Sun using JDF's name to essentially slander Power Rangers and accuse them of stealing ideas from JDF over the past 10 years? Woo, baby, this is spicy.
As much as I don't like JDF, I don't like to speak ill of the dead unless they're like little criminals. But considering how strong of a hand JDF had with Power Rangers over the last 10 years, I wouldn't say they were stealing ideas from him. It's more like they were doing what he told them to do.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know anything else about the crew of that or what they've said, but if their claim is that Power Rangers is stealing his ideas, motherfucker, he gave them the ideas. He made them make those choices.
To give a bit more context from what I've seen, maybe Chad can put a bit more context after I'm done as well. Some of the people from Bat in the Sun have apparently been saying that JDF fucking hated Power Rangers for the last few years before he died. Like, he absolutely despised Power Rangers, which, not true, by the way. He despised Power Rangers. They stole all of his ideas. They basically were just like slave driving him into the ground or some shit. Like, they're just saying some like whack ass shit. And from what I know, just to be extra petty, they're apparently going to release the what's it called, Legends of the White Dragon on the same day of Once and Always. So I'm like, bro, you guys are just being the pettiest of petty, and it's really weird. Say what?
So that actually got finished?
Allegedly, it's done.
Apparently, it did.
Yes.
Last I remember hearing the Kickstarter fucking bombed, so
apparently it actually went all the way through.
Weird.
But yeah, so apparently, again, I don't know the full context. Again, maybe Chad can shed some light, but that's what I know. That apparently they're just going out of their way to make it seem like Jason David Frank fucking hated Power Rangers like the last few years of his life.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually kind of interesting. In terms of the actual drama with Bat in the Sun, I personally do not know much. If anything, this sounds also pretty new. But in terms of JDF's relationship to Power Rangers, basically before he died, yeah, no, apparently there was actually legitimacy, because like I've heard rumors and like kind of rumblings of him actually kind of hating the direction Hasbro went with the brand. And basically, from what I could tell, again, wasn't really too big of a JDF fan, both at the same time. I can't deny the effect he's had on the fandom, especially with what he's made it and whatnot. But in terms of that, though, apparently he was really getting fed up with basically what Hasbro's direction, and it kind of shows now, especially like with how they're, I guess, treating other brands, D&D, Power Rangers, etc. And I guess like the fact that he's actually apparently that's been rumored that he's been more or less, I guess, dissatisfied with the treatment of the franchise, that would make sense. Mm-hmm. But in terms of, I guess, him hating Power Rangers as a whole, don't think that's exactly true. Apparently it's because of like how Hasbro treated it is why he chose not to come back for once and always, apparently. Mm-hmm. And why he hasn't been seen on Power Rangers since, what was it, Ninja Steel, I think?
Yep.
Yes!
Yeah,
oh my god,
fuck,
don't remind me of that shit.
Yeah, so pretty much, like, Ninja Steel I think was the last, Neo Saban entry. And he hasn't been seen in like Beast Morphers or Dino Fury, and obviously he's not being seen in Cosmic Fury because rest in peace, sir. Mm. But I feel, or if I remember correctly, so to give a long story short, he didn't exactly hate Power Rangers, but he hated the direction Hasbro was taking with it, despite the fact that apparently there are still rumors, or I guess rumblings in the fandom that I'm still kind of keeping up with, that he did actually collaborate with them on a few last projects before he passed away. Mm-hmm. But that's mainly only for merchandising, not really for production or show-wise, though.
Again, I'm not too sure on my end. That's just what I've heard, though. So
I have heard a lot of what Chad said there with him being very dissatisfied with how Hasbro has handled the brand, but JDF is he's always been a little bit of a prima donna in his later years, so I had chalked that up to just personal dissatisfaction about how he's been treated and not necessarily a view of the brand overall.
How he's been booked?
What?
Considering where Hasbro's gone the last 5 years as well, and, you know, like Chad brought up, how they've completely fucking demolished basically every single major brand they've had over the last year.
You could take it however way. I kind of just think it's because JDF didn't like how he was being booked, brother. That's not going to work for me, brother.
I mean, for God's sakes, he was getting top billing for everything.
That finish don't work for me, Rita, brother.
So, okay, I don't...
That CG don't work for me, brother.
I don't disagree with him when it came to how Hasbro's treating the license, because it feels like they don't really care. It's like they're nostalgia pandering, and they're also linking everything to the Boom comics. Oh, look, I haven't read the Boom comics in years. I still have them. I have to read them one day. I'll read them one day. But it's like, if I gotta read a fucking comic book to know what's going on and stuff, then, okay, that I'll do it. But I don't want to. Not to mention...
Well, then don't.
I'm just saying, like, it shouldn't be a requirement to do that. Like, it shouldn't be a requirement to do that. Because they're also doing that with Cosmic Fury, I heard. Like, they're bringing Heckle back from Dino Charge, but he's going to be the Dark Ranger.
We got a few questions about Cosmic Fury. Don't worry about that.
I'm going to be tearing that one a new one. I'm going to be tearing that a new one.
Like I said, at least when it comes to JDF, we don't know. And like Jay said, I ain't going to speak ill of the dead because we don't know the full story with that shit. So, if they're really going out of their way to slander it, then that movie better be a fucking 10 out of 10. Well, so
watch as somebody makes us put it on the wheel.
It already is.